Hello, good evening. So, I always begin the videos off with saying that I hope this go live finds you all well and that you had a good day. I think for me as a whole, I don't know. I think it was a good, productive day. So I've been working with my husband on the website, and the good news is we are totally live to sell candles now. So my shop is open, and any orders over $50 has free shipping. So that's really cool. So if you check out my site, you'll see the candle, the name of the candle in the description. And I do plan to offer a bigger variety with time, but I'm kind of slowly building up my candles with some exciting changes to come with the shop. I've already been brainstorming with Tim and we have some ideas, but I'm not going to give those away until we actually get those accomplished and bring them to life. And then I'll share with you guys. Like, you guys would be the first to know of additional exciting changes with my store. And then, of course, with Valentine's Day approaching, if your significant other and you would like a reading, or if you just want to show yourself a little bit of love and get a reading, let me know. And I will totally, set you guys up or set you up with a reading. Just shoot me a message or make an appointment on my website. Hi, Christy. Good evening. How are you doing? You'll have to let me know in the comments. So I think other than that, and I announced in the group that I will be doing a craft fair at Fox High School in March. So check out the post on that. That way you can check me out with my readings and my candles, which I'm really proud of. So anyhow, that's enough of the general announcements. And so tonight we will continue our journey through the Minor Arcana with the Suit of Cups, and we will be delving into the Three of Cups. So I will hold this up here. So you can kind of take in, like, imagine that you're in the card and that you're looking at this scene that's playing in front of you, and what it would feel like to be in that setting, taking in the colors and all that good stuff, how the colors make you feel, look at their overall body language, what they're doing. All these intuitively help contribute to what we see in a card. So here we have the Roman numeral for 3. And we're seeing 3 women. And right now they are jamming. They are having a celebration. About what, we're not sure. But they are either really close friends or family, or maybe it's a bit of both. And it's a very emotionally charged union of sorts, to where they're hanging out, they're keeping each of their chalices equally full. Again, that give and take that we've been talking about with the Suit of Cups, and with it being the equivalent of emotions. And that's what they're successfully doing. And these 3 women could also be seen as we would the triple moon, which is your maiden, mother, crone energies. So, that's a beautiful thing when you think about people from different generations and so forth, and the value that they add just by their insights and getting to know them and how they view the world, and how they can support each other through their own personalities, their strengths, lifting each other up to their highest potential. This is overall a very good energy. So with this lady, she's wearing white. So we think about purity, truth. You can associate it with white, but it's generally thought of more so as blue. And then the red garment here stands for passion, love, excitement. The yellow, which honestly, this is more of a yellowish orange. This also stands for excitement, feeling festive. It's like red and orange can kind of overlap in ways with their meanings, because think of the flames of a fire. You've got yellow and red flames in that fire. So, and even a little bit of white. So it's a good overall energy. And looking around them, the sky is blue. So there's not a cloud in the sky, meaning that it's just a beautiful day. There's no concerns with their understanding of where they are in life and all that good stuff. They're very much present. And then the ground, instead of it being green, we've got a yellow ground, which stands for like a bright sunny day. Think about what the sun does. We have illumination. We can see where we're walking to. It feels warm, safe, secure. There's enlightenment, knowledge. It's a very good foundation. And in the background here and even around them, we see some pumpkins. Okay. So if we're seeing pumpkins, I tend to think it's more so fall. So it's symbolic of harvest. So it's after their hard work growing their crop, they can actually harvest it and do things with that pumpkin. And there's also some grapes. So it's very possible. So see right here, there's grapes. And over here, it's hard to say. Those could be little miniature pumpkins, because I couldn't think of anything else that's orange that would be growing from the ground that could be. Again, symbolic of harvest. But with those grapes, that could be symbolic of the wine that the women have in their chalices after they're celebrating, or as they're celebrating. And so with this, when we get this card, it is significant of finding joy. And it's a celebration amongst friends, family. It could be the people you work with. The team accomplished something great, and now they get to celebrate. So it really does, capture that energy just by looking at the card without knowing anything about tarot. You could gather that they're having some fun. This is a party, Now, on a brief note, even though, again, I don't generally cover reversals, but say if you get this card and it's in reverse, especially say if you get it touching base on the major arcana that we covered, if you get this with the devil card, that could mean that somebody's partying a little too much, and it can also mean addiction. So just so you're aware. Now, when we're thinking of 3, because, I always skim over numerology because that's a whole book to itself with the knowledge. And I would encourage people to Google the meaning of various numbers, and then, of course, write 0 through 10, and then write beside each number what they believe that number means to them, and then Google or buy a book with numerology and assess all the various meanings. Because especially if you get a trend of the same numbers that show up, you've got a pattern, you need to jot that down and see what the significance of that number is, So with this overall, let me think here. So with 3, I've covered 3 before in other go lives. So we're thinking that it's a chemical type thing, like alchemy. You're combining 2 different things to get a product, similar to these women having pumpkins and grapes, and they're celebrating, say, the harvest in this picture, for example. It could be all sorts of things they could be celebrating. But it shows how they work together to get this product, and they combine their energies that they had. So think back to when we did the go live on the Ace of Cups, and how that water just pours over that rim. Their cup is overly full, and they can invest that water, which is their emotion and their heart, right, into the people and the projects that they choose to and that they care about. Well, these women did that, and they were successful. And so it's a very joyous time. I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I covered everything here. Let's see here. So I know last night we had covered like the 2 of Cups, and that was more like a new relationship, friendship, like you have a new professional relationship at work is what that card covers. And we talked all about that. So if you haven't caught that go live, go check that out. But in this one, instead of that chemistry and that new relationship taking form, here again, we're not even thinking about all that. This is more like that nice group energy. So think if you get a group of friends together and they catch up over coffee, or I don't know, say if they decide to go get pizza, then they're going to totally catch each other up about what's going on with them and praise each other for their accomplishments. They're going to joy in the drink and food and be present. And to me, I feel like this card's important, especially following a Two of Cups, because it shows that even if you encounter somebody that you have that chemistry with and you start a new relationship, it's not to forget your friends and family, because they form a really solid foundation for just life in general. And plus, it's pretty much symbolic that if you ever have somebody who tries to keep you from your friends and family, that is so a red flag. So see, our lady from that Two of Cups didn't get lost up in that person she met last night. Here, she's hanging out with her friends and enjoying each other's company and their accomplishments. So let's see here. So I wrote down close bonds, which I think that I've pretty well alluded to that. Overflowing emotions. Again, one big word that sums this card up is a party. And I covered the meaning of the colors of their robes, with white being purity and innocence, red being passion and excitement, and orange enthusiasm, happiness, and joy. And then I did allude to the harvest and the abundance in the background. And again, with tarot, you know how it's like gender neutral and all these themes, we're talking about the energy. So it's not literally saying that somebody has to have a harvest in order to celebrate. This takes different shapes and forms. Like people celebrate for all sorts of different reasons, right? So that's why when you do your spread, you assess what cards are around this card and you talk to the person you're reading for, or even if you're reading for yourself, and get that big picture together, you know? And then of course, cups being emotion and intuition. So both come into play when it comes to the cups. And yeah, that's all that really I wrote down for this card. So it's not as, say, complex as some of our other cards that we've been over. But I like it though. I do really very much like the energy of it. And so now I'll hold up the other cards for comparison. So here we have 3 crows, and they each are drinking from these cups. And then we have this right here. And oh, it's like, it is slipping my mind right now. Oh, it's a laurel. For one moment, the word escaped me. A laurel, think about like Julius Caesar. Okay, especially if you watch a Cleopatra movie, you know, he's in it. They would wear those. And that was a symbol of victory. And it's green. So when we think of green, we think of growth and abundance. Now, around these cups, we have these beautiful yellow flowers. They look like, I don't know, like daffodils. And then these crows, their cups are a bit overturned. And you remember how, like, I just had touched on how there's a lot of overflowing emotion and intuition in this card? Well, check this out. So all around them, we have different colorations of blue that was used to show that we've got the movement of water. And plus, these cups are not upright. They're not resting on solid ground. So I think what this is a bit of a warning of is, even though it's a great time to celebrate and enjoy each other's company, it's also kind of important not to get carried away with all that water. And then we end up like we were just talking about with a reverse card from, say, partying too much. And especially if it's with that devil, because you remember for the major arcana, the devil means we feel bound to a person, a situation, what have you. Okay. So it's avoiding that. But again, they've got that growth, and it looks like from the trees, I'm looking here, it looks to be, It's hard to tell if those are apples or oranges, but either way, it is a fruit. And the sky is colored a bit of like that orangey red color, a little bit of black. So when we think about orange, we think about excitement, you know, but also with fire, fire can keep us warm and it's beautiful, but it can also burn houses down. It can burn people and cause harm. So again, I think this is a bit of a cautionary warning looking at the color scheme and the overall what's going on with this card, to be very careful, you know, and not to get too carried away. And then here, so I love this card because you know how I touched upon the Maiden Mother Crone from the Triple Moon concept, correct? And you can Google this. If you're not familiar with the Triple Moons, you can Google it and look it up to see what I'm talking about. So here we have our crone, which is our older lady. And I think crones are so beautiful too. But I love all the phases. And then here, I'm not sure if this is a maiden or a mother, because this would be us. So the artist drew the hand like it's us reaching for this chalice. And they've got their own chalices, and it's like everybody's looking at each other, and they've got like this little smile going on, and the eyes are open, and the hair's like wild and kind of moving in the wind. And just imagine hanging out with your friends and you look over and you see their faces looking at you like this. It's going to make you smile. And they're toasting, you know. So it's like they're toasting and celebration and happiness and just simply enjoying each other's company. And I love this so much. I love this card so much. It's one of my favorites from that deck. This is the Tarot of the Abyss, by the way. I love that deck. And then here's another one, which is really pretty. And this is from the Light Seers Tarot. Now look at this one. So here we've got 3 friends. They're all females. And they're looking up at that sky, at the stars, right? And around them, it's very expanse, like very just like this large area. Expansive is the word I'm trying to come up with. And there appears to be lavender. See that? Isn't that beautiful? I just think of the scent of lavender in a big field, and you're outside standing, hanging out with your friends, breathing in that lavender, looking up at that starry sky. And it's beautiful, you know? And when I see this, if you connect the dots, it looks like it's like a cup on its own, like a dipper, of course. So it's like together with their friendship that they can get through anything life throws at them, and they know they're going to make it. And I love this so much, even without, you know, them literally holding the chalices up. I love that they're just present. And it's so beautiful, you know. And when I see lavender, I just, oh my gosh, it's just, I don't know. To me, it's like natural, calming. It's just, it's great. It's one of my favorite scents. And then, of course, I finish off with a card that's not based in Rider-Waite-Smith, okay? And I'm going to cover up her top side because she's not wearing a bra, you know. So to me, this card, this is just her boobs I'm covering, but like, it doesn't do anything for me. I think the artwork is beautiful. It shows her on a merry-go-round, and she's not looking directly at us. It looks like she's looking down at that rabbit that is trying to maybe keep up with her. I don't know. I don't get those friendship vibes like we do with the other cards we looked at. Like, so again, this always drills home. Rider-Waite-Smith it's the way to go when you're learning tarot. Or like I've mentioned before, you get a card, like a deck that resounds with you, but it's not based in Rider-Waite-Smith. And then you can take the one based in Rider-Waite-Smith, like the OG, the classic, put the unconventional card right by it, look for similarities and differences, because at least you'll have the base meaning down as you also, more importantly, intuitively look at your cards. And so I will kind of finish this up by holding them up so you guys can like look at the commonalities in these cards. And I like it. Again, I like it when it shares common symbols and they're based out of Rider-Waite-Smith, because you get that same energy as a Rider-Waite-Smith. You get the basic meaning of that card. And I just love the artistic liberties that these artists took with their decks. And the thing is, the more I use the one deck to teach with, I even did my New Year's reading on myself with this deck that's unconventional, because I love the art in it, and I get it after reading for years. But I don't even think it's my favorite compared to these other decks. By a long shot, it's really not. So this sums us up for our Three of Cups. And so tomorrow I'll hop on at the same time, and then we'll do the Four of Cups coming up. And I think that is the gist of it. So feel free, if you have any questions or comments, to leave them with this video, or even with our group chat to get different viewpoints. You can leave it in our group chat, the Crow's Nest. And yeah, I think that'll do it. And you know, people can always catch up when my go lives on YouTube as well, to where you could just find the one particular one you need, because I've got them organized by the major arcana. And then for the cups, it's the minor arcana cups. And I'm going to do a different heading for each suit. So it's so easy peasy to find the one you need if you need a brush up or to gain additional insight about a card. That way, by the time that it's all said and done and we get through all 78 cards, you're not having to like scroll down to find the video. And I think that about does it for us tonight. So thank you for being with me. I appreciate you so much, more than you'll ever know. And I hope that you get a good night's sleep. Good night. See you later.